Hey everybody! Hey, it's me, it's Scoob. It's your wonderful fantasy commissioner, your two-time former champion, coming at you with the draft breakdown real quick. I'm not going to do a matchup breakdown this week since we don't really know how the teams are other than looking at their drafts. So I'm just going to look at the drafts and we're going to go from there. So right off the bat, I'm going to talk about Lucille's Balls, the greatest team of all time. By the way, have y'all noticed my avatar, Ricky Ricardo? Pretty awesome, right? So my draft, I went in with a plan. I knew what I wanted to do. I went in there, had the plan in mind, was going to gobble up all those mid-tier wide receivers, the Adam Thielens, the guys like that. Then I was going to gobble up all those mid-tier running backs, Chris Carson, David Johnson, Melvin Gordon, James Conner, just gobble them up like Pac-Man, picking up the pellets. And much like the great Mike Tyson quote, everybody thinks they have a plan until they get punched in the face. That's how my draft went, because as soon as the draft started, it was chaos. We had all kinds of technical difficulties. Katie couldn't log in at all. Our neighbor Steven of Riverside Smash, he'd just gotten a new tablet and he couldn't get the ESPN app to work on it, and so I gave him my laptop and I'm sitting there trying to draft on my phone, which I hate, and just it did not go the way I wanted. Now my big pick was Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I got him for $54. Did not want to spend that much on a running back. Y'all know me, I'm cheap. I was going to let all y'all spend your money, but I saw him going at that range. I was like, I can't let somebody get him this cheap. So I tried to just, I worked it up a little bit, and then y'all bailed on me, and you stopped bidding, and I got stuck with him. But hey, I'm not worried about it. That's how I wound up with Christian McCaffrey a couple of years ago, and y'all know how that worked out. Championship. So anyways, still, for the most part, it was more than I wanted to spend there budget-wise, but I was still able to get a lot of great wide receivers. Hollywood Brown, Adam Thielen, Odell Beckham, Terry McLaurin, so I'm solid there. My running backs, I've got, CEH, I've got Chris Carson, I've got Melvin Gordon, I've got Mark Ingram, and then I made a trade right after the draft with Shane's Lloyd Dobler Express and was able to get myself Dobbins, so I locked up that Baltimore backfield, which is pretty nice. That graph thing that after the draft it tells you how everybody's team is, right, in the app? Somehow when Shane and I made that trade, we both went down. You would think one of us would go up and the other would go down, but we both apparently lost that trade. Shane, not sure what happened there, but I feel good about it. I think you got a good deal for what your team needed as well. So that's my team. We're going to be tough, so you better watch out for us. Now, moving on to the Trash Pandas. Chris Warren is, he's been with this league since the beginning. We've been playing together about 6 years, I think. And Chris gets better every year. He's really good at working the waiver wire, but he's also gotten really good at drafting. And it's almost as if Chris went in with my plan and executed it much better than I did. The only thing I would have disagreed with was he spent $71 on Michael Thomas. But other than that, I mean, his team, he's got some solid wide receivers, Cooper Kupp, DK Metcalf, right in that range. But he also landed David Johnson, stole him from me. I will talk about that in a little bit when we talk about Katie's team. And he got James Conner from me. He got Rasheem Mostert. He got some good players. He got Julian Edelman. Solid team. We're all going to have to watch out for Chris this season. Now, let's see. Sprinkles in the freezer. Michelle's team. Michelle went bala and spent $90 on CMC. I get it. The dude's amazing. I was in a snake draft last night. I ended up with the #1 pick, and I was kind of bummed about it. I was like, I don't want to draft CMC, but you kind of have to because he's that freaking good. So she spent the money. She still was able to piece together a pretty solid team. She's got Devontae Adams as her wide receiver #1. She's got Mahomes as her quarterback. So don't think that she spent it all on CMC. She's got a lot of $1 players, but she's got some depth and she's got some talent there. So watch out. Now, Jive Turkeys, Bubba Earl's team. Bubba Earl is made the playoffs last year, but he's also a Cowboys homer, so he went big on Cowboys players like he always does. I'm surprised he didn't draft Jason Witten again this year. He's got Ezekiel Elliott and Derrick Henry as his running back, so he went big at running back. He's got some, solid receivers, Jarvis Landry, Keenan Allen, kind of guys that had off seasons last year, but I kind of expect him to bounce back. He's got DJ Shark. It's going to be a good team. He backed up Elliott by picking up Pollard and probably picked like 4 or 5 other Cowboys as well. So Jive Turkeys, another one we got to watch out for. Now, the Lloyd Dobler Express, Shane's team. I spoke about this briefly, about the trade we had. Shane came in. He's got some good depth right off the bat. He's got Kenyon Drake and Kenyon Drake for $43, Tyreek Hill for $39, Mike Evans for $37. Although I did see something about Mike Evans might be a little banged up. He's got DJ Moore. Now he's got Antonio Gibson. I have J.K. Dobbins. He got Kyler Murray as his quarterback. So it's going to be a solid team there. He also snaked Latavius Murray from me, which, chances are he won't play most of the season. But if Kamara goes down, that could be a league winner right there, people. And I think that's what Shane was thinking when he picked him up. He stole like 2 or 3 players from me, I remember. Now, let's talk about my dear, sweet, wonderful wife, Katie. Her team still going by the name Gridiron, although she's threatening to change the name to something that represents the fact that her team was drafted by a wide receiver. That's her groaning in the background. Her team was drafted by a wide receiver crazy robot. It started off great. She got Nick Chubb for $50. Great buy right there. Kenny Galladay for $28, $10 under price. And a guy that she was targeting. She got Juju Smith-Schuster for $28. Another guy she was targeting. Allen Robinson for $23. That's her first 4 picks. Solid, right? And then Robert Woods. You get the feeling she's going a little heavy on wide receiver here. Cortland Sutton. I'm reading these off in the order that she drafted them. It drafted them.
It happened to me.
Yes, after Cortland Sutton, the machine drafted A.J. Brown, another great receiver. Then Deebo Samuel. And then finally she gets a running back with Duke Johnson. Duke Johnson, the wrong Johnson from the Texans. And this is the story I was going to tell about how Chris Warren stole David Johnson from me. I'm listening to my poor wife. She's just agonizing every time I read off the newest receiver that her robot has drafted for her. And she's just,
I couldn't log in.
She was going crazy. And so I realized that I'm bidding against her or her robot on David Johnson. And so I stopped bidding to let her have him. And then Trash Pandas comes swooping in there and snags him up. And they get him for $14. David Johnson for $14, which if he plays like last year, that's overpriced. But if he plays like I know he can, that is the deal of the century. So Katie is going to probably be hitting some of y'all up, sliding into y'all's DMs to try and make some sort of trade offer. She's got wide receivers out the wazoo. All right, now, moving on. She did manage to get Carson Wentz as a QB. The team's not terrible. She just needs running backs. All right, Memphis Mains, my boy Drummy. Drummy spent $71 on Dalvin Cook. I had him last year. I can tell you, he's probably worth every penny. But you know how much I spent on him last year? Like less than $40. That just shows you how much he skyrocketed in a year. He also picked up DeAndre Hopkins, which I'm interested to see him in that Cliff Kingsbury offense, how they utilize him. Austin Eckler. He's got, Jack Doyle, not an exciting tight end pick, but a solid tight end nonetheless. He's got some good teams. He's got some upside with, some good players. He's got some upside with Henry Ruggs. It'll be an interesting team to see. Drum's normally pretty competitive, so, we'll see how that all works out for him. Now let's talk about my boy Joshua James and his Fayetteville River Rats. Josh finished the draft with, let's check, $145 remaining. That's right. Josh didn't buy anybody until like the last 10 minutes of the draft. And I told Josh this the year before. You don't get to keep the money at the end of the draft. Like, that money is gone. Nonetheless, he spent a total of, $55. $55. I spent $54 on Clyde Edwards-Hilaire. He spent $55 for his entire team. That said, other than maybe Chris Warren, nobody, and I mean nobody, is better at playing the waiver wire than Josh. And I've seen him build teams out of nothing. So don't think that he's going to be, an easy win. And in fact, he's only picked to lose to, I think, Sprinkles this week by like 5 points or something. So that could go either way. He, despite the fact he spent no money, he's got some guys that if they live up to their potential, I guess, he could have a team. He's got Cam Akers. He's got Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks, last year he couldn't stay on the field, but if he can stay on the field, this is a guy that could be sliding into DeAndre Hopkins numbers, right? He's got the talent, and now he's in the position. So, who knows how this could turn out. He's got Sterling Shepard. He's got, Rob Gronkowski. Who knows what the Gronk's going to do, right? Like, maybe he'll get hurt the first game. Maybe he goes Gronk on all of us. So, again, Joshua, if you pull this off, I'll be amazed. But you heard it here first. Nobody is better at the waiver wire than Joshua James. Number 2 would probably be Trash Pandas. All right, moving on. Let's see, too good for you. Jackson's team. He is our youngest member of the league. He went big at tight end. He's got Travis Kelce. That was the first guy I saw go off the board that I might have, spent on before I was able to really get settled into the draft. He got Alvin Kamara. He's got Dak Prescott. He's another Dallas homer, I think. He's got Amari Cooper, Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell's best years are probably past him, but for, let's see, $17? Yeah, I could get in the Le'Veon Bell business. Tariq Cohen, could be good. This is a PPR league. He could be good for the points. He's got Adrian Peterson, and Adrian Peterson now has a home in Detroit. So who knows how that works out. Oh, and he drafted my favorite kicker of all time, Robbie Gould. All right. So that's Jackson's team. Jackson was a playoff team last year. Too good for you. He's been in the playoffs, I think, the last couple of years. So, again, solid player. Now, we come to our defending champion, the man that we're all gunning for, Tim Spain, who was out on the golf course, of course, while we were drafting. And I believe what he said was, well, I auto-drafted most of the draft last year, and it turned out all right, so I'm not worried about it. Well, his auto-drafter treated him a lot better than Katie's did. He's got a lot more, it's a lot more level team, right? He's got Saquon Barkley for $75, Miles Sanders for $52, Josh Jacobs for $53. That's three, I went three. That is 3 solid running backs. 4 running backs with Devin Singletary. So his kind of did the opposite, loaded up on running backs, which, let's be honest, that's what you want to do anyways. And so he's a little weak at wide receiver. So maybe he and Katie ought to get together and make a deal. He could get himself a wide receiver or 2. Maybe she could get herself a running back or 2. Just throwing that out there. I want to bring everyone together. All right. But other than that, he's real weak at wide receiver. And very strong at running back. So, yeah, that could be a match made in heaven. Don't be stealing my girl, though. All right. Let's see what else we got. Team Perry. This is our co-owned team, co-owned by E.T. and Ryan. They've got Julio Jones for $67. Or is that his age? I don't know. Julio Jones has been playing forever, right? Chris Godwin for $45. Lamar Jackson, last year's MVP, right? Aaron Jones. So right off the bat, we see some solid players. They've got wide receivers like Christian Kirk. They've got Hayden Hurst as their tight end. So again, another team that's a little bit weak at wide receiver, but not near as weak as our defending champions team. And let's see, in our last team, the Riverside Smash. This is Stephen Holmes' team. He co-owned a team with Katie last year. This year he's stepping out on his own, and he came out of the draft pretty well. He got George Kittle for $37, and he got Mark Andrews for like $18. I don't see it here, but $19, yeah. So he's actually playing a tight end at flex. Now, where he spent too much money was on Todd Gurley. I personally was planning on targeting Gurley in the kind of $20 to $25 range, $30 if some of the other running backs were off the board, but no way would I have ever spent $46 on Todd Gurley. Not with that knee, not knowing how he's going to be used, right? He did get Joe Mixon, which I know he was targeting. He's got Marvin Jones. Heyo, I'm back. All right, sorry. Technical difficulties there. Ran out of memory on my phone. Had to delete some stuff in order to finish this video. So where was I? T.Y. Hilton. That's right. Riverside Smash was able to gobble up T.Y. Hilton. In fact, he gobbled up some good kind of solid, probably wide receiver twos. He's got Michael Gallup, who puts up almost as many numbers as Amari Cooper for a lot less money, right? He's got T.Y. Hilton, who I was also targeting, but I was able to get Hollywood Brown and Terry McLaurin, and so I kind of at that point I kind of passed on him. Tyler Boyd, I got AJ Green. So he picked up some solid wide receivers. He's got a little bit of his running backs are a little weak. He's got guys like Nyheim Hines, Chris Thompson, which are flex guys, in a PPR like what we play. And of course, as long as Gurley stays healthy, fingers crossed, and Joe Mixon, he's in good shape there. Let's see, what else? And he's got Danny Dimes as a backup quarterback. So those are all the teams right there, kind of looking at them. All in all, I think we're going to have a pretty competitive year. I'm looking forward to it. I don't think the only person that might have, really bombed the draft, I would have to say, would be Joshua. But again, like I told you, I've seen this guy build teams out of less. So I would still, Sprinkles, watch out. If I think it's you that's playing him this first week. Let me check that real quick. All in all, though, let's see. Our matchups this week, we've got, might as well give you all the matchups. We've got, I know I'm playing Riverside Smash this week, playing my neighbor. I believe next week I'm playing my wife. But I'm playing Riverside Smash this week. I'm picked to win by like 2 points. It ought to be a tight one. Fayetteville River Rats are going to be playing Sprinkles. I was right about that one. Sprinkles is picked to win 122 to 105. That's our biggest blowout for week one, or at least, prediction, projection, whatever. We got Lloyd Dobler Express playing Jive Turkeys. That one, it's a 1 point difference on the projection, 117 to 118, so that ought to be a good one. Let's see, Team Perry's playing the Griziron. Griziron is projected to lose by 3, it looks like. And we've got Too Good For You playing the Trash Pandas. That's another good, that's going to be our high-scoring matchup, I think, 121 to 126. And then our returning champion, Tim Spain, and the 52 ball scratch, they are picked as 5-point or 4-point underdogs to the Memphis Mains. So those are our matchups for this week. The season, as of the time of me recording this, begins tomorrow, but I probably won't get this video to y'all until tomorrow. So the season begins tonight, and I'm looking forward to it. My Texans playing, my fellow Red Raiders, Pat Mahomes' Chiefs. Hopefully, I'm hoping for a bonanza, lots of points scored, especially from Deshaun Watson. I'm talking to you, Deshaun. And from Clyde Edwards-Helaire, my #1 pick. All right, that's all I've got for y'all. Y'all set your lineups. Put your best foot forward. Let's play some fantasy. I'll see y'all on the fantasy gridiron.